Good afternoon. I'm Peter, and I'm going to present the SAP Manufacturing Solutions ME and MII components with a brief solution overview. So let's get started. SAP ME is a manufacturing system destined to manage processes and data in discrete manufacturing. Discrete manufacturing is the production of distinct components and products. So each manufactured component and product has its own identifier, which can be backtracked from the system with additional production-related information. That's what we call traceability. Let's take a look of the key features of SAP ME. First of all, SAP ME can be integrated with SAP's ERP system in order to synchronize master data, such as materials, bill of materials, production orders, etc. And there are a bunch of different ERP modules like SAP PP for shop floor control information, MM for inventory management, QM for quality management, and last but not least, PM for plant maintenance. Besides the ERP integration, SAP ME provides functionality for work in progress tracking, traceability of the components and products at each production step, and allows to log defects and non-conformances against the SFCs. It's a pretty long list of features, but I will try to give you a short example. Imagine that there is an assembly line with a bunch of stations. Each station has its unique resource ID and operation. There is a shop order with the model, the BOM, and the routing of the product set to releasable on the work center of the assembly line. Then the unique identifier of each product is getting released from the shop order at the first station of the line. That's what we call an SFC. The SFCs are getting processed at each station with actions like start, assemble component, log non-conformance if necessary, and complete. Using the data collection functionality, the system can collect process parameters, for example, the applied torque of an automatic screwdriver. By using the user-specific access control and certification, the system can control which operator can log in and work on a specific station. And beside these, ME provides access to a number of reporting functions as well as statistical process control features. And last but not least, SAP ME allows connectivity to plant equipment through SAP MII and SAP PICO. Now let's move to the solution overview.
Sorry. I was thinking that you are.
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I will continue with another topic. So the solution overview. So the solution consists of 4 components. The SAP manufacturing execution, which we have talked about already. What I would like to add here are the databases. Because SAP ME uses 2 databases, the work in progress database and the operational database, the ODS. I will share with you more information about these in a few minutes. From integration point of view, most SAP ME functionalities are exposed as public APIs or PAPI services. available as Java API and SOAP web services, which can be executed from SAP MII and other external applications. SAP Manufacturing Integration and Intelligence acts as the integration platform between SAP ME and SAP ERP to exchange transactional and master data. A component called SAP MEInt is provided in SAP MII to manage message workflows between SAP ERP and SAP ME. And MII can be integrated with Pico for machine integration and other third-party systems using web services. Now we are going to move on to the architecture overview. Or we already have been there. Sorry, I didn't see. Unfortunately, there was a double click, I think. But on the architecture overview, SAP MII and SAP ME, these components are deployed in the same NetWeaver Java application server. Next to this Java application server, there are two database servers. One server is dedicated for the WIP and ODS databases, and one for the SAP MEInt database. Let's summarize what are these databases responsible for. The WIP database stores all the master, transactional, and configuration data used in SAP ME. The ODS database is used to store historical data for long-term reporting purposes, which is summarized from the WIP database and populated from the WIP database by archiving and ODS transfer. And last but not least, the SAP MEInt is used to store messages exchanged between SAP ERP and SAP ME through SAP MII. And there are Pico servers as well, because as I mentioned earlier, SAP MII and SAP Pico, using them, SAP ME can be integrated with machines and real-time shop floor automation control systems, such as SCADA, DCS, and plant data historians in order to get real-time information about machines and processes. I'll move to MII. SAP MII, or SAP Manufacturing Integration and Intelligence, is a framework for rapid delivery of composite applications for manufacturing. SAP MII is a web server-based application with zero client design. What does that mean? It means that there is no application software needed to be installed on the client machine. Clients should use their web browser with the appropriate version of Java runtime environment. Integration with various systems is one of the key features of SAP MII, as it can integrate with database servers, SQL, and Oracle, with enterprise resource planning systems as SAP ECC, can integrate with SMTP, which enables the functionality to send emails, can integrate with any other legacy system that supports HTTP post services or web services, and with file transfer protocol, in order to connect to a local folder or a shared directory in order to exchange files. and it's used by SAP manufacturing products like SAP OE and SAP ME as their integration platform. And SAP MII has a service-oriented architecture, streamlining application integration and speeding deployment. Let's discuss a bit about these services. The visualization services, which SAP MII provides, are various methods to display information through these services, but we will present more on this later. The data services are providing bidirectional access to data in plant systems through the rapid configuration of query templates, which are creating named use of data. For example, in MII, there is an object called SQL query template in which we can choose a data source from the previously configured SQL connection list, write the optionally parameterized SQL query, as the SQL query template object can take input properties, and then we can execute the implemented query templates standalone or integrate in a transaction logic. What is important that SAP MII normalizes all the data, regardless of its source, into a standard XML structure. Business logic services in SAP MII are based on a graphical logic engine. So the workbench, which is the graphical programming interface of MII, where we can implement custom business logic transactions in an easy and fast way. But how can we describe a transaction? In a transaction, action blocks are placed in sequences that are wired together to form a tree. When the transaction is getting executed, the sequences and their action blocks are getting executed in a specific order from top to bottom and left to right. So, for example, in a transaction, we can implement a logic which responds to a machine request, like asking for the shop order list, or a transaction can act as a data retrieval backend service for UI interface. With this, I would like to thank you for your attention, and please let me pass the word to Madalina.